So, as a former member of the Royal Marines and having been trained by Colonel Grace Mallory, Butcher is in peak physical condition and is stronger than the average human. With his physical abilities combined with his combat training, Butcher can compete with and even sometimes defeat supes with enhanced physical abilities and other superpowers. But after taking Compound V24, Butcher is now ranked among the strongest supes in his world. Butcher probably got the biggest upgrade after taking Compound V24, and I think we need to talk about Butcher and the effects that Compound V24 had on him. So let's first talk about where did the Compound V come from? Basically, Compound V was created by Frederick Vought, a Nazi geneticist. Frederick was the founder of Vought International and was previously married to Stormfront. Both Frederick and Stormfront were staunch followers of Nazi ideology. In fact, Frederick's Nazi beliefs motivated him to create Compound Vs. He invented the serum to be used by German soldiers during the Second World War. By creating Compound V, the geneticist had hoped to create a force of super soldiers who would protect Nazi Germany. In order to create Compound V, Frederick would test the serum on human prisoners. Once he had perfected the serum, he gave a dosage of Compound V to his wife, Stormfront, making her the first ever successful patient of Compound V. Due to their strong Nazi beliefs, both Frederick and Stormfront had intended to use Compound V to launch a global race war. But once it became clear that Germany was going to lose the war, Frederick defected over to the Allies and ended up bringing Compound V with him. When he came to United States, Frederick's serum was used by the American military to turn Soldier Boy into a supe. After the war was over, Frederick launched Vought International, which used Compound V to create a team of supes. The company deceived the public into thinking that a supe's powers were God-given or were created from a natural genetic leap. However, Vought was actually dangerously injecting newborn babies with Compound V with the aim of turning them into supes. When Frederick initially created Compound V, the serum was far purer than in the boy's timeline. Vought International created a less efficient version of Frederick's Compound V to make it more cost-effective for the company. As a result, patients needed a dangerously high dose of Compound V in the hope of gaining superpowers. This was an extremely morally corrupt process, especially when considering that Vought International was secretly using this serum on newborn babies in laboratories. Some parents would knowingly inject their children with the dangerous substance, hoping that they would ultimately develop superhuman abilities. For example, Starlight's mother was paid by Vought to dose her young child with the serum. However, she then led her child to believe that her powers were God-given. Unsurprisingly, Compound V has a very low survival rate, especially in adults, and so if anyone like Butcher takes Compound V, they have a high risk of dying. So how Compound V works is also very interesting. So Compound V is a blue liquid that can be injected into one's circulatory system and cause them to mutate. Those who survive the mutations are granted special powers that vary from subject to subject. Most often, those abilities are physical superpowers, though some subjects gain abilities related to their minds rather than their bodies. The effects of Compound V can sometimes take years to manifest in a child or infant, though when it is injected into a full-grown adult, the effects are typically immediate. The abilities granted by Compound V vary greatly, and while some are incredibly powerful, others can be weak or ineffective. Young children were often given higher dosages of the serum in order to heighten the possibility of them gaining superhuman abilities, which is why both Homelander and Queen Maeve became such strong supes. Compound V is also unable to determine which superpower its user would generate, which leads to an abundance of unique abilities in the boys' universe. Whilst the Seven all possess pretty powerful abilities, some of the more unconventional superhuman abilities are also seen in the boys' universe. In an animated episode, we see a group of misfits who did not receive the big-ticket powers like flight or laser eyes, and were consequently dumped by their parents in a home for kids with shit powers. This episode introduces us to some bizarre and often comedic superpowers, such as extreme slow motion, narrating, boob face, being water, picante balls, and the ability to turn into a human tongue. This serves as a reminder that Compound V is extremely unpredictable and dangerous. Compound V is immensely powerful, but not just anyone can take it. The drug is most effective in infants and young children, probably because their bodies are more open to change. However, the exact reasons for this are unknown. The majority of infants and youths that are administered Compound V survive the process and develop abilities as they grow. Adults, on the other hand, have a measly 20% chance of surviving the introduction of Compound V to their bloodstreams. This is why Compound V is primarily given to children. And administering the drug to children also helps for maintain the illusion that people were born with their abilities. Alternatively, Compound V can also be used to heighten a soup's pre-existing powers. A-Train was addicted to the serum for this exact reason. A-Train used to illegally take Compound V in order to maintain his image as the world's fastest soup and consequently secure his place in the Seven. However, whilst the serum was guaranteed to momentarily enhance the soup's abilities, the serum would ultimately cause him permanent damage as seen by A-Train's heart attack. So, what's the difference between Compound V and V24? The boys recently introduced a newly developed alteration of Compound V known as V24 or Temp V. So, basically, V24 is commonly referred to as Temp V because it is designed to give the subject temporary powers. It is supposed to last for 24 hours, though development of the drug is shut down during research and design after Compound V becomes public knowledge. V24 has a host of negative side effects that have not yet been solved, but the drug does work to provide the subject with temporary Compound V-like abilities. Unlike the original Compound V, V24 is designed to be safe for fully grown adults, but because it's incomplete, it's not really safe for anyone yet. As the story continues, V24 has become a huge part of the plot, but its differences from Compound V will have serious consequences for the characters involved. Where Compound 5 is a single dose that leads to a permanent mutation, V24 is only temporary and must be taken multiple times if one wishes to have extended powers. However, V24 can become deadly after 5 doses, as it commonly ends up leading to brain lesions. Billy Butcher finds this out when it's revealed his repeated use of V24 has caused the growth of several tumors on his brain. So Temp V is dangerous and can lead to slow death. But unlike Temp V, Compound V often kills subjects during the initial mutation process, but unlike V24, it will not cause death after the body has accepted it. Moreover, soups are able to take extra doses of Compound V for a steroid-like effect that temporarily boosts their abilities. This too carries side effects, though they are far less severe than those caused by repeated use of V24. What are the effects of Temp V on Billy Butcher? As implied by its name, the emerald green-colored serum provides an ordinary person with superpowers for approximately 24 hours. The superpowers given by V24 appear to be more standardized, with its users gaining powers based on their personality traits alongside a high level of superhuman physical attributes, such as superhuman strength, durability, and speed, regardless of the dosage amount. Unlike the original formula that provides random superpowers that are proportional with the dosage amount. So, after taking Temp V, Butcher gained superhuman strength, durability, hearing, and laser vision. His other attributes are almost similar to other soups, but his unique heat vision sets him apart. Butcher is able to generate yellow heat energy from his eyes and can project it outwards as high-powered beams. These blasts of energy are shown to be incredibly powerful, as they were able to easily slice Gunpowder's head in half and cut clean through his car. Although he initially lacked a good handle on this ability, to the point that it hurt his eyes to use it, but by the time he took a second dose of V24, he was able to use his heat vision with perfect control and without any sense of pain. Butcher's heat vision also proved powerful enough to knock Homelander to the ground after striking him in the chest, and later he was able to block Homelander's heat vision with his own, which is a pretty big feat, considering that Butcher recently got powers and Homelander had them since he was born. Another thing is that Butcher's laser eyes are a different color from Homelander and Ryan's because Butcher's yellow lasers might actually be stronger than the red lasers, if going by the color of the lasers having the same meaning as real-world lasers. Real lasers also vary in color. Red is lowest in energy, and the power of the laser increases from orange to yellow, green, and then blue. Butcher's laser eyes being yellow may mean they're actually stronger than Homelander's if the boys has red laser eyes as the weakest on the spectrum. So, it's clear that Butcher is making good use of Temp V, but due to his repeated use of Compound V24, which is known to cause brain lesions within 3 to 5 doses, Billy Butcher is getting terminally ill. His attending physician declared that any further attempt at treatment for his condition would only adversely impact his quality of life without extending it. His physician also speculated that he has 12 months to live, possibly up to 18. Billy was also seen significantly weakened in his most recent appearance, and it's proving that Butcher's health is declining at a very fast pace. So, Butcher also pumped himself and the boys with Compound V in comics, but things were a little different there. In the comics, Butcher gets his hands on some Compound V and makes himself and the other boys incredibly strong soup-killing machines in the process. Unlike the Amazon Prime original series, the boys are aware from the beginning that Compound V is how soups are made, and they use that information to their advantage in taking them down. The version of Compound V Butcher and the boys use only gives them powers for a short time and only offers them the power of super strength. It is revealed that while the boys' Compound V is relatively short-lived and only makes them super strong, as opposed to some of the other godlike powers the serum offers, it makes them stronger than nearly every other soup in existence. The character known as the Legend, who knows everything there is to know about soups, and their history explains that super strength is a power shared by every soup, but the level of strength varies, with most only being enhanced in that area a little bit. The Compound V Butcher uses is geared towards offering super strength specifically. This gives him an edge over most of the super population. Billy doesn't get his hands on this specific strain of Compound V by accident, but by his own ruthless design. Before Butcher met Huey and launched the boys as fans know the team, he was working for Greg Mallory, the founder of the boys. Under Mallory's employ, Butcher tracked down the scientist responsible for creating Compound V and forced him to create a specific version of the serum, one that makes him stronger than practically everyone he faces. Using that specially made strain, Butcher gains superhuman strength, but his powers are totally downplayed throughout the story. The reason why is because the comic wanted to make Butcher seem intimidating in his own right. The series wanted to show that Butcher, as a normal person, can walk into any situation where he is facing off against the soup and come out on top. Compound V explains how he wins all of his fights, but that fact sits on the back burner to shine more light on the idea that Butcher is inherently someone who is not to be messed with. So yeah, that's all, and thanks for watching.